Alright, so this one, display turning off after short use. No. This guy had this in here a few months ago. Went through, did a full diagnostic, had zero problems with the diagnostic. So he took it home, started using it, and this was about 6 months ago, and now it's happening again. I thought maybe it was driver related, but we'll see if we can get it to do what it was doing like yesterday with the one that we determined was a motherboard. All right, we're gonna shut this down. We're gonna test just his hardware. We're gonna grab my NVMe from this other computer, toss it in there. We'll have a clean copy of Windows. We'll test everything. All right, let's grab my SSD here. All right, we're gonna pull out his NVMe, as I stated, and we are going to toss my in there. A little bit tight. And then with mine in there, it's a clean install of Windows. We'll get all of the drivers that are going to be required here. Then we will hey, thanks for checking out this video. If you like these videos, make sure you hit the like button. If you want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button. It really, really helps the channel. This is like a terrible location for this. I have no idea how I'm going to get this back in there. Alright, so that's in there now. That's in there. That on. Plug in my IODD. Alright, let's run 3D Mark. Alright, so let's go into the BIOS. Interesting. I wonder why he would do this. Probably because all of the fans are hooked up to the motherboard. So now they're just cranked based on the CPU temperature. Right, so his is back in there. So the thing that I find interesting about this is that once you turn this on, the fans, the front fans are immediately like cranked with this motherboard, which has got to be something specific with this motherboard. So someone put custom like fan ranges in there. So we might turn that back on, but we're going to load into safe mode and we're going to do a DDU on this. We just checked it. We checked everything out with mine. We passed all of my stress tests. Interesting, that USB port is not working. That USB port isn't working? Oh. Found the problem. We'll look at it here in a second. Why are my keyboard inputs no longer functioning? Why would this no longer be detecting my keyboard? Yeah, I found the, I killed USB power. That must be it. Now it's not starting. Let's turn it off. Well, while we're waiting here, stand this up. Swing this into place. I don't even know if I'm going to need to turn on the light for this. In there, let's go down just a little bit. Hey! So, this will be, I actually should be able to fix this. Just got to order an HDMI for this. So we'll look that up tomorrow. I can grab this other computer and get it on the desk, but...
The next day.
Foot pad. A little bit of desoldering here. First, camera's freaking out. Alright, here's what we're going to try and do. We're going to try and see if either of these HDMI ports are going to be movable over to this. So let's get this apart. Alright, so here's what we're actually looking at. We're looking at replacing that guy. Let's grab one of these. See if any of those, any of these guys are going to have the same HDMI port. That one's very different. If I don't have one, I'm not doing this, and tell the guy here, here's a display here's an HDMI to DisplayPort adapter. Big thing with this is if it's not the same, I'll remove it and then you'll never be able to use it again. This looks close. Well, I guess we'll take a look here. Yeah, they're pretty close. You know, under the microscope. Yeah, I planned on it. Even if I'm gonna give him one of the adapters and say, hey, here's your best bet. Like, I would rather not have the card short out. And this is what we're looking at. This is the one that is on this board. This is the bad one. Looks like only the rear legs are actually holding this in. Let me get this apart the rest of the way. So we have a few more screws to remove. It does have a spot for an additional DisplayPort. It is 100% for DisplayPort. You gotta remember, this is the same card architecture that they use for the professional cards. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're gonna remove this one first. I know this is the most boring part of this for you guys. Me removing screws. Start by getting this off of here without melting it. These boards are incredibly thick. So I do know from personal experience that this is going to take a lot of heat. So I might try, extend this out here. You guys get a nice crotch shot going on. Gonna come over here. I'm actually going to try and do this off the table a little bit. And what I was saying is I think I'm going to add a wee little bit of low melt to this before I do anything. I'm gonna move this slightly closer over here. So we get the suction. So that when I hit it with hot air, this will mix with the high temperature solder just a little bit faster, and it'll transfer the heat down into the individual legs just a little bit faster. Because the stuff that I'm using has a melting point of like 350 degrees. Theirs has a melting point of like 480. So anything I can do to make this process simpler and less painful is going to be much, much appreciated by the board in the long run. So yeah, so that leg is already ready to come off. Let's move that out of the way. Shut that off. Realign. Realign. Let's move over this way. Right now, my biggest concern is actually going to be on this one, because we're going to remove this. There's a lot of teeny little guys underneath there. And I need to find my tweezers. Now, mine is not like officially low melt. It's just lower temperature. 325. Yeah, 325. But I'm sure low melt is like much lower. All right, and now all I'm going to do is move this around and rest this here after I do the smart thing and add more flux, because always add flux. You're going to see even this is going to take quite a while for it to get to a melting temperature, because this board is just pulling the heat out. All right, we're starting to get there. So the other thing that we have to be careful of with this is we want this to basically fall out on its own, because that would mean that not only this side has gotten hot enough, but the other side has gotten hot enough for the pins to release. Because the last thing we want to do is tear traces.
Ah, foreshadowing.
We're going to give it a little bit of a wiggle here. You can see the legs are starting to release. We want to agitate it a little bit without pulling until it's just ready to come out all on its lonesome. Just like that. Where we'll flip it over and we'll take a look. Hopefully we didn't take any pads with us. And we did not. So it's just a long process. Let's clean this up a little bit. And as you can see, this board is going to retain a lot of heat. You can just see how much heat we needed to actually pump in there. Like, so much so that it's not even letting me, like, keep some alcohol on there for just a little bit of time. All right. Part 2. Same deal. Extractor turned on. Some low melt on these boys. Same deal. We're gonna be a little bit more gentle with this. So we gotta be careful. We have tiny little boys like right there that we want to make sure we're not knocking off. We're starting to get heat into the board. See, our low melt is now starting to go. The easiest way to tell the difference between low melt and not low melt, see, it's melted, not low melt. A lot less solder, still isn't melted. Yeah, I didn't get enough low melt on this. What we want to see is we want to see like some of these other guys actually start to liquefy. That'll mean we're starting to get to the actual melting point of this thing, or the factory solder. Yeah, so 100% these guys were hanging on for dear life. So now we're gonna let this cool down a little bit, and we just need to be careful. We're gonna get the solder out of these holes. And then after we get the solder out of those holes, we'll clean up the pads a little bit, add some new solder to those pads, and then get this new port put in there. Oh no. Go. Just wiggle. Wiggle it around. Put in this one. Wiggle it around. I think I'm gonna need to like actually cut this off because it actually absorbed a whole boatload. Let me get this cut off of here. This is our new one. It looks like it's a pretty good fit. Everything looks like it wants to line up. I need to... something about this when I'm putting this in. I'm burning myself. Because, you know, it's several hundred degrees. Yeah, it should be good. Alright, here's what we're going to do next. We're going to hit these pins. We're going to clean them off. We're just going to gently come in here. So we're missing a pad.
Shocking, shocking.
Fun times. So it looks like one pad did get damaged. Still there though. Be real careful. As long as it's connected, right? That's what matters. I wonder if that's part of the original damage. No, it couldn't have been. And the whole thing is it's still there, so as long as I get the HDMI port actually connected to it, it should not matter. I'm gonna clean this up a little bit more. Be very gentle. Add some blow melt solder to this stuff so it has a little bit of height. Okay, and then we'll drop that in to make sure we get these as lined up as possible. And what we're going to do is we're going to rotate this around. I need to pull out my little soldering pen now. We're going to hit each of these connectors. That one. Before we actually attach. So we're going to hit each of these before we actually attach the port to the actual board. I think we might have a height issue here. That's an issue. So I'm gonna have to figure out that. So I'm gonna have to grind that back and run a wire. But I also think we have a little bit of a height issue because this thing does not want to. I don't think I have to bend the pins down. Like it's just not. They're not actually making contact for some reason. But yeah, that last pad being damaged, probably a pretty big issue. Let's clean off all these feet, and we just got to figure out where that trace goes. So that we'll have to clean this up. All right, let's see if we can get it down. And they still don't want to even get close. And I can probably make this work. Well, we got a little bit. So that one's good. Somehow. That one's good. Solid. 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 Is that solid? Solid. 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 I'm shocked. Alright, so that's the first one that's not solid. So far we have what? This one? So let's get in there. If we can't. This one might just be an a little bit more solder to it. Might be what we end up doing. Put a little bit on the tip there, and all right, we're good now. Yeah, I gotta add some more solder to that. Not too much, just a little bit. Just like that. So that should be, yeah, that should be nice and good. Now I gotta do the one next to it. So this guy. Add some more to you. So the other thing we have to constantly be doing with this, as we're doing this, we're burning off the flux that's on here. And like naturally, solder wants to flow from metal to metal when it's in flux. So if we can give it a pathway to flow, it'll want to join those two pieces of metal. So we have 1, 2, I think it was this one? No, this one. So 1, 2, 3. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth one in. All right, same deal. We're gonna add a little bit more flux. Add a little bit more solder. Okay. That guy right there. And then this one. The biggest problem with this is as you do this, you're going to end up removing some of the ones that might have actually joined. So it's just being patient. And we'll go back and we'll check now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that one I have to add a bunch more, like a bunch more solder, because it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, we are good now. So we have to do that one and that one. You can actually, that one's good now. Just this one. So we just got to get that actually connected to something again. And then we're going to come in here and we're going to clean everything up. Let me get all the extra solder off of this. I think I just undid the one next to it, so I'm going to have to just keep working my way down, Done, 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 done. We just got a whole bunch of flux on here, so it's harder to actually see these moving. All right, we're good. Let's alcohol that up very gently. So you can definitely tell these are two different size HDMI ports. So what we need to do now is figure out where that trace goes, because I do believe there's a via right here that went to, which if it is, then I can just grind that via and just run a little wire to it. But because everything else is connected, I think I'm going to flip this over now, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put solder in all of the feet to strengthen up this so that these don't want to come apart while I'm doing it. So while that alcohol is drying, let's get to soldering this up. All right. And then we just want it to flow down. Just like that. Same thing on this one. That might be a bit much. No, it's fine. Alright, we got to be delicate on this side. Let's not get solder on any of these other components. Come on. I had to clean my tip. And the other one, right. This is just an awkward angle to do this at right now, but let's go. We want it, basically, we want to do is we want the solder to flow onto the legs. So we'll check this. There's a little bit on those. Those look good. The only one I'm a little bit suspect about is this. Is this one, which is this front left one here. Just gonna add just a little bit more to that, and then just sit here and hold it for 5 seconds ish, and then we'll look at it again. That's really not wanting to flow into there. We're gonna put some flux on it. Do not breathe in the flux. See if it moved down a little bit. Yeah, it's just being stubborn. I don't think it's going anywhere, though. Yeah, I can put a pretty decent amount of effort on it. It's not going anywhere. Oh, well. It's just not cooperating. So, in the interim, let's get this fruits of our labor here. So, let's really do my best to get this cleaned up now. Cleaning is important. Alright, doesn't look bad. Like I said, I just wish we would have gotten some flow down right there. Alright. Now comes the actual pain in the butt part. Let's figure out where this via is supposed to be. Might have to lower the actual microscope. So I need to know if that goes there. I also need to make sure that what I just did not loosen any of these pins. So I guess I'm going to need to touch up this one because that's not really touching anything. But pretty sure that just goes right to that via. Let's get nice and low. Yeah, I'm thinking that's what it is. So if I get in here with my grinding tip, just grind this back a little bit, I might be able to just do a straight up solder trace. And you can see it right there. It's going to be very delicate. Lowest speed. There you go. That should be all I need to do. Like 100%. Let's get in there. Let's get that cleaned up a little bit. If I need to run a piece of wire there, I will. I'd rather not. I would rather just flood that with a little bit of solder and then connect them that way. We'll see how well that'll go.
You poor child.
As always, we're going to make sure we apply our flux to both of these, because we have two purposes here. One, I'm gonna get that out of here. Let's rotate that around. All right, let's grab. We're gonna grab a little bit of solder here. First and foremost, I want to get some additional solder on this guy. And it's on the wrong part of my soldering iron. One moment, please. Tip's looking better. I need to get the solder towards my tip, and it's wanting to all kind of build up in the middle. For those of you saying that I'm sure-handed before, now you can really see how not sure-handed I am. That is now connected. See how we're looking over here. So one of the things we're gonna check for is we don't need a giant stream of solder going from there to there. We just need enough for it to make contact. Let's get in here with our tiny boys. So what I want to do is I want to check to see if this... I don't think it is yet. We're gonna have to get a little closer. Well, the fact that it's not actively connected right now means that even if it was a rough connection, it would still stay connected because it's gonna move. So it'll move with the plug, unlike the rest of it. It's a really awkward angle to get in there with solder right now. Problem is I need this on the edge. Like that. So this might be a lost cause because these pins want to join each other now. One more thing real quick. I'm gonna make this a little bit more. What I'd love to do is see if that pad goes somewhere else, because if that pad goes someplace else, then I can literally just run a wire. I don't know why I didn't think about that. So do any of these? Doesn't, does it? Nope. So just want to get some more solder here. You can see where my solder is sitting right now. Just need to move it up slightly. Over there. So useless. We should be good. Yeah. Very, very careful. Oh, maybe we're good. All right, let's get this put back together. Let's get it put back together and just give it a quick test. And we'll get out of here. All right, let's plug it in, see what it do. Okay, we got spinach. Oh, maybe. Pretty stable. Yeah, we're good. Don't tell me to do that. Copacetic.
The next day.
All right. Let's get this GPU installed, get this thing turned on, see if it works. We already tested it last night, and we know we had some success. Let's see. This was this with 3060, I think is what we said it was, that we reinstalled that. We swapped HDMI ports on. All right. 3, 2, 1. Power. I forgot. This is the one I have to go back into his BIOS and set up new fan curves. We know it works. We tested it last night. Why are we getting no video out? Why you no worky now? I thought I had this video card sorted out, but apparently not. See if we can't see why it's suddenly not working. I don't want this thing out of here today. So sad. All right, let's see where some of my solder joints came loose on this guy. Good. Okay, back to this. All right. Good. Maybe I need to press that one down. That one definitely came loose. Yeah, some of them came loose from where they were yesterday. Like this one. This one looks really off of there now. Nope, that one's really on there. These tweezers, man. It's good. Good. So it's that one and that one. That one's definitely down there now. And then the other one was... All right, those look better. Let's see here. Good. All right, well, if it's not working, then it's not that. So because that's all nice and secure in there. I'm wondering if it was just those two pins that we saw. There we go. All right. Yeah, I was just on the wrong input. We are good now. Perfect. Hey, thanks for watching that video. If you liked that video, make sure you hit the like button. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And I stream daily on Twitch at twitch.tv/SpecVengeance. And yeah, if you want to learn more about my services, check out Bradenton PC Repair.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.